Hi guys, TSM here with another BP video. This one's the VXP Target teardown. So this one's for siege. So ballistic radioactive is obviously the strengths and weaknesses the same again. Obviously, if you kill this one off, it's VXP defender tokens times 3 at 10k each. So really handy to stack up. Interestingly, you'll notice I've actually got a Gladys in this fleet. You'll find out why in a moment. So let's have a look at the target then. It's interesting. It's zippy. I've done a few of these. We have, radio towers. There are 4. You can't see the other one. It's at the top. There are 4. Okay. Those are interesting. They actually protect a Farsight turret, which is actually just in front of it, which is actually a friendly turret, which is quite an unusual thing. Everything in red seems to do damage to you. So those areas there, I'm just highlighting now for you. Clearly there are some launchers in there. There are some interesting bubbles that fire out at you as well, which are dumb fire, so you can avoid them, which is quite nice. And obviously there's some UAVs as well. I have actually put a MDS3 on one ship just to test to see if it actually works against the UAVs. So we'll do a bit of testing and see how we get on. Right, first and foremost then, let's find the right ship. So we're going to go and test the UAV first. Only reason I suggested this one to myself was simply because one of the specials actually comes with anti-missile on it, which I thought was quite odd. So it was either going to be a miss or a UAV. It turns out to be a UAV. MDS3 works fine for those there, and here they come, look. And yeah, bear in mind, so that's a single ship with a single MDS3 on it, okay? And takes a lot down in that instance anyway. Not every time, okay? And bear in mind at the moment, this isn't a full rank ship either. I've done 2 VXP targets. By the time I finish this one, I've actually done all 3 targets to make these all sculled with obviously a 3-star salty. So there you go, not bad at all. So yeah, MDS3 is definitely the way to go. It's definitely working. I think if the targets aren't much more dense than this, and you're not going to trigger too many of those UAVs, then you could probably get away with 1 per ship, I think, to be honest. So let's look at the launcher then. Here's the launcher. How many stacks for a supercharge? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then bang, oh look, there you go. So once it's started, obviously it takes a while for the supercharge to wear off, so it takes less on the second hit. Quite a bit of damage that time. Okay, quite a bit of damage. So, yeah, so that's the radioactive damage. By the way, the UAVs, okay, that are in there are ballistic damage. All right. Don't worry about the Farsight turrets. Actually, they're your friendly turrets, and they're not going to do you any harm. Be interested to see when they actually do trigger what's actually coming off them, because it isn't what you'd expect to see. So this is this bubble firing target. Look, but you can actually outrun it. It's dumb fire. So obviously, there you go. Keep out of the rings. They do an awful lot of damage. So their area effect, obviously, their splash damage is huge. So and here you go, decimator turret, by the way. Normal sort of range, it looks like it. Bear in mind on these ships, by the way, whilst it does say the range is quite decent, there's actually a modifier of minus 35% on the range for these. So just be cautious. Just because you put the you've put the weapon on, don't think that's the range you're getting, because you're not. There is unfortunately a minus 35% range modifier built into the hull, which is a bit of a shame. I'm not quite sure why have the range as it is and then put a reduction modifier in it. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Okay, so I'm going to need to use the flagship now, which is why the Gladys is in here, because I haven't got enough firepower to kill off the radio tower. To show you then obviously the rest of what happens to this target. So interestingly, then you'll notice actually once I've completed this, the Gladys can actually kill the whole target by itself, one single ship. So like I said, you can get some Defender VXP tokens nice and easy once you've ranked these up. So killing off this radio tower, there we go. And now all of a sudden, look, my turret that's got the blue indicator on it, okay, is firing against their turrets, whereas they're firing against me, as in my turret. Okay, so there's a bit of cross battle going on then inside this target. Now, it did say on our own blueprint ships that if you get in close, you have a healing effect from your ships. Okay, I'm not sure how that works. I haven't looked into the mechanics of that just yet, but there is a healing effect. It's inside the blueprint and the special effect in the specials area. Right, okay, so I'm bringing up that single ship there simply because it's got the MDS3 on it. So It's not actually on that one. It's where is it? There we go. MDS3. There it is. It's on there. So I'm going to bring that one forward and then take my Gladys forward and see if it can work in combination. So there's a switch fire, and yeah, so there you go. And I'm taking down some, I believe, of those MDS with the MDS3, some of those UAVs, which is quite decent. Notice the Gladys is hardly damaged. Look, obviously, because it's got an awful lot of resistance because it's obviously X1. You can't kill your own turret, obviously. It's not doing anything whatsoever, but you can sneak in. Obviously, don't stop with those bubble things, whatever they are, because obviously they will splash you. But look how quick you can kill the rest of this target off, even with a single Gladys. This is just the flagship. I don't think you need to use the flagship, but I just chose that. So next we're going to go and actually take out, there's my point. Look, you can't kill that off. It's not possible. Okay, so then we're going to move around the target now, and we're going to take the rest of it out. There's not much of interest now, to be honest. It's just a case of taking another target. But yeah, the only thing that is, I suppose, interesting is it's a clean target. It's not messy at all. It's going to be quite quick, I think, to do. I'm going to go kill off these ships, actually, and because I don't want to be dragging them around with me now. I'll do some here, and we'll move forward with the Gladys, look, just to show you what happens. Interestingly, our ships are in there in the center. Look, I'll kill off this radio turret. The launcher at the moment is aiming at my own ships. And now the launcher changes its position. Look, the enemy launcher is now firing at my turret. I don't understand the mechanic. It doesn't seem to do enough damage, but it is firing, look, at my own turret and no longer at my ships. So I don't quite get what that's all about. But I just thought I'd highlight that point as well. It is a bit random. Anyway, so let's go in, because obviously I don't have enough firepower to kill these items off. And yes, I have got two of the the heavy flamethrowers on as well, which don't seem to do a great deal at the moment, even though I've only got two on. But then again, I haven't got all the specials on yet, so I don't have all the supercharge, I don't have all the building damage, so it's really too early to tell. Right, okay, so we're going to go around. I got a funny feeling these buildings, okay, which look a bit like OPs, I think they're just extra damage indicators, basically. And then the little red beacons that are up there, it looks like a fire support beacon to me. That's what it looks like. It's got the symbol of fire support anyway. I'm going to take these ships back in again, try and get them to die if I can. There you go, one's gone down already. So it's interesting, look, the launcher isn't firing now at the ships. So why? I'm not sure. Is there an inner ring? Is there an inner distance? Probably is. Okay, so you can probably get inside. Okay, yeah. So interesting. And I don't know quite why, but the launcher isn't firing, like I said. So you need to. I think I'm inside the inner ring of the range of the launcher. I think I'm inside its range. So maybe a case of going to MDS3 and getting close, and then you're not going to get. And if you're going to get close, then I would target the decimator turret first, then the UAV turret. Why? Because obviously you can counter the UAVs, but you can't counter that decimator turret. And if I'm inside the range already, then that's absolutely fine, isn't it? So that looks a reasonable way of going about it. So decimator turret first, I think, to be honest, then taking out the UAV, and then taking out, obviously, yes, yeah, the launcher last. So I believe I'm inside the minimum range, but obviously I can't see that. But that's my guess anyway. Right, we'll just wait for this last hull to die off, basically. And we're done. Okay, right. So now we're going to go across and take out the decimator. There we go. And this is a single ship, don't forget. It's just one ship. Then take out that launcher. See, that launcher then stopped firing. Now I've moved back out again. It's firing. So move back in. It's stopped firing. And we're nearly done. We're going to go around. See, there it goes. That's that bubble, whatever it was. It's firing at me. But obviously, I'm managing to keep going, and everything hits behind me. So just keep going, keep going, keep going. So there we go then. So taking out the last couple of turrets. Oh, mind that ring. That's that fourth, obviously, radio tower, which I didn't have before. The decimator turret now. Whilst I mean, they look like decimator turrets. Obviously, they may not be, because obviously we're in a PvE target and not a PvP target. But obviously they just use the same blueprint. And there we go. That's it taken down, finished. So the Glad didn't have a huge amount of damage on it. Damage itself then, so yeah, we can evade a little bit of that there. Then it's not too bad on the ballistic. Can't evade a lot of it. We can evade some of it. Okay, radioactive, you can definitely evade some of that. So evade on your ships may be worth doing. Okay. Yeah, that was my damage going across. So radioactive, quite a bit of damage there. So, but interestingly, and a little bit of ballistic as well. Right, here's my build. My first thoughts on the build, anyway. So I'm going, I think, anyway, for four, yeah, ballistic and one radioactive for my armors. That's my gut feeling to start with. And then obviously the new engine, which is, there we go, that's it there. Okay, 110% of the combat speed. Then this new special here, which gives you the well, that's your countermeasure special, which I'm putting then one MDS3 on the hull itself. Okay, so that's my goal at the moment. Okay, then obviously there's the critical damage one, supercharger times 6, obviously, combat speed as well as the radioactive damage as well, which is nice. Yeah, so there we go, multi-shot times 2, shockwave damage as well, all right, and radioactive. And it's the last one that I definitely know about, building damage, which is obviously important, projectile speed, really, really good for countermeasures as well. So there's all the relevant individuals, and I'm not sure about this last one. So I've got options. Look at my speed at the moment. I'm 115, 138. Okay, so combat speed 115, 138. Three options are sort of where I'm considering. Hyper 30, a bit more combat speed, and obviously brings up my evade a little bit as well. So there you go. My speed and my turn are closer, which is quite nice. And my evade's coming up then 52% as well. So it could be a lot worse. I could get that higher though, I think, to be honest. And do I really need that much combat speed? Siege targets, you don't generally need to rush in too much. And you don't get overwhelmed too much by the fact that there's no ships. So I could then obviously, yeah, guided scrambler 3 could be a better one. There you go. Evade now is much better, isn't it? And movement is still okay. I can turn faster than and I prefer it that way around. It's better to turn faster than you can go forward. So you do have better control. There are other options as well if you don't want to go for that. Yeah, there are some specials that you can look at. This one down here, there we go. Look, why? Well, you get supercharger times 3 as well, and you also get a bonus in your combat speed. So 20% bonus to your combat speed and supercharger times 3. I think that puts your supercharger up to 9. I think it does. Yeah, it does. So times 9 on your supercharger. So that could be worthwhile. So there you go. So it adds to your stack effect much quicker. So it's it's available there, and then obviously your combat speed goes up a little bit as well. I'm probably thinking around, yeah, I might go for the evade bonus, and then I'll make a decision afterwards. So I think the Guided Scrambler 3 could be the way to go because there's an awful lot of evade, and the fact that when it comes to upgrading your ships, they add 10% evade. And if they add in evade when you're upgrading your ships to U1, 2, or 3, it's normally a hint that evade's going to be quite important. So that could be the build. It could be. Okay, I'm not saying it is. There you go. It's a 5-day ad. Okay, and bear in mind this one already had the heavy weapon already added to it. So take it off though, and then what's that take me down to? I think it's probably a little bit less. Yeah, so 420. So not horrendous. So that's where I'm going at the moment. Okay, I hope that helped. Yeah, enjoy the VXP weekend, and I hope you enjoyed that preview. Take care. TSM out.